Unusable, I'm switching. Everyone keeps saying they're swapping off the Pixel 6 Pro because the bugs they've encountered have rendered it unusable. But I can't afford to just buy a new phone on a whim, and I honestly haven't encountered any of the bugs they keep saying are ruining their experience. That's not to say I haven't experienced any bugs though. I bought the Pixel 6 Pro the day all the reviews said it was pretty great. I was upgrading from the Pixel 3 XL, and a big part of it was to get the 2 extra cameras and a new battery that wouldn't have me charging it twice a day. So far, I've been incredibly impressed with it. Phones are great now, especially compared to just a few years ago. I've been super impressed with the camera. I've taken some absolute f***ing bangers with no effort at all. But let's get into the bugs that others on YouTube and Reddit have been experiencing. First up, we have complaints about the fingerprint scanner. It's not that quick, that's a fair point, but I found it incredibly reliable, even with wet hands or pruned up fingers after washing up. I do kind of miss the rear capacitive scanner of the Pixel 3, but the underscreen scanner is more useful more often, like when the phone's down on a desk. I've saved my right thumb twice, and this probably helps a lot with the accuracy, but it's not ruining my life to have it on the screen for an extra 20 milliseconds anyway. The light it uses to scan your fingerprint is pretty bright though, since it's not an ultrasonic one, so if you're in the dark and you have a small thumb or miss the scanner, you might go blind for a second. I'll admit, I don't take that many phone calls, because I'm not old as shit. But the ones that I do take are always clear, and I've never had a dropout like some have reported. As for the Bluetooth connection that I use to connect to my car every day, I did actually have trouble connecting back in December, but that fixed itself shortly after, and I've had no issues since. Quick rapid fire bugs I haven't had that I found on Reddit. Basically, if the phone can do it, then Reddit says it stopped working for them. These include the notification shade pulling down during calls and stuff being pressed, tap to wake not functioning, alarms not functioning, Google Assistant not working. I haven't experienced any of these bugs, but that doesn't mean that they're not real or anything, just that your mileage may vary. And as a part of several user groups on Facebook for gimbals, cameras, and apps, they're full of people complaining about the product. The internet gets very vocal when things don't live up to their standards. Like I said at the beginning, I have experienced bugs though. I do get the occasional "System UI has stopped" message, and when I click OK, the message goes away and nothing happens or changes. But occasionally the phone will quickly reset in about 3 seconds and it's all back to normal, except your apps have been closed. Which is annoying, but I think it's only happened about once a week, which is more than I'd like it to, but I'm not about to buy an iPhone over it. The only other bug I've had might have more to do with Facebook Messenger, since it's the only app that it's happened with. Basically, if I'm talking to someone and then lock the phone with Messenger still up, when they reply and I get a notification, if I press that notification to unlock the phone and go back to the conversation, 9 times out of 10, it'll freeze the app. So I'll have to swipe up and kill the app and then reopen it. But it's only on Messenger, and Messenger's actually notorious for causing problems on everyone's phone anyway. So now we know not every user experiences 1,000 bugs a day that make the Pixel 6 Pro unusable, we can pivot a little bit and start talking about my more general experiences with the Pixel 6 Pro after 4 months of using it. Starting with its design, she's sexy. Thin bezels, a big 6.7-inch curved edge screen, and clicky as hell buttons. A lot of people dislike curved screens because it makes it harder to fit a screen protector, and it may make the phone more prone to cracks. I would put myself in this camp, but also the back swipe gesture feels really smooth on the curved edge. Round the back, there's the camera band, which I also think looks great. I find it more functional because it sits flat on a table and it keeps my fingers out of the way of the lenses. Plus, with a case on, it isn't a pocket lint trap like some other phones on the market. Also, back to the curved screen making it more prone to cracks, I actually dropped my phone from a 2-meter high shelf straight onto tiles and it's completely fine. There's a small dint looking thing on the case now, but that's all. Not bad. The Pixel 6 Pro was the first phone to ship with Android 12, which is the biggest visual overhaul in a while. I like it. It looks nice and the bigger bubbles are very touch friendly. Some things I'm not a fan of though are combining the Wi-Fi and mobile data functions because it takes an extra tap, and that's just outrageous. I think this is an Android 12 thing, but now if you try to turn on a smart light while your phone is locked, using either device controls or the Google Assistant, then your phone will ask you to unlock it before it turns on the light, and that's also a pretty big inconvenience as it makes the home screen while on the Pixel stand far less useful as a home hub or control center. Google, please change this. It'll only respond to my voice anyway, and if anyone else has my phone, it's not the end of the world if they turn off the lights. One of the big things that came with Android 12 was Material You, which updates the system UI and first-party apps to match your wallpaper. It looks nice. I have my wallpaper set to actually update to a new one each day, so every time I wake up I get not only a new wallpaper, but a whole new phone color scheme. It's weirdly exciting to see what theme I'll have that day, and it keeps things feeling really fresh. Some real Martin's Mornings vibes. The battery's been pretty great for me. It definitely improved after using it for a few weeks, and I think that's because of the adaptive battery settings taking a bit to figure out how you use your phone. I usually go to bed with about 20% left after getting 6 to 8 hours of screen on time. The biggest battery burners are 4K video recording and gaming, so you'll definitely get a lot less if you do a lot of those. A few smaller things. I love the feel of the haptics while typing and interacting with the P6P, but the vibrations for phone calls and notifications just aren't strong enough for my liking, so if it's on a desk, you might actually miss some calls. The 120Hz adaptive refresh rate is also good and keeps the phone feeling snappy. I haven't noticed it not updating to 120Hz like some people have reported, but maybe I'm just not as aware of it. The screen is also pretty bright, and definitely visible in broad daylight, or in my car mount with the glare while driving. On average, I probably use it at about 50% brightness. A massive Swiss flag for me is the voice to text that's actually now done on device. It's incredibly quick, and you can activate it with either a touch or by asking Google to type for you. Here's a quick example of how good it is. When Mr. Bilbo Baggins of Bag End announced that he would shortly be celebrating his 11th birthday with a party of special magnificence, there was much talk and excitement in Hobbiton. Bilbo is very rich and very peculiar, and had been the wonder of the Shire for 60 years, ever since his remarkable disappearance and unexpected return. The riches he had brought back from his travels had now been a local legend, and it was popularly believed, whatever the old folk might say, that the hill at Bag End was full of tunnels stuffed with treasure. Now to possibly the best thing on the P6P, the cameras. Almost every photo I take impresses me, and some have absolutely shocked me. One caveat is that Google's processing can be a little crunchy at times with the new sensors, especially the telephoto lens, but I'm hoping they'll work this out over time. But overall, I get some absolute bangers out of this thing. The camera app is simple and still gives me control over the highlights, shadows, and white balance if I want it, but it's already correct 99% of the time. Coming from the Pixel 3, I was hoping that the processing would be a bit quicker on the 6 Pro, but you can definitely still catch it processing if you snap a photo and then immediately check on it. You can kind of see it pop in. Another processing delay affects the wide-angle camera while shooting, where it doesn't seem to be able to keep up with the HDR processing and noise reduction, so you get a lot of noise around the edges of the preview when you move the camera. But this all gets fixed once you take the photo and it finishes processing. The only other issue that is actually kind of annoying is the lag between zooming in and it swapping from a digital zoom of the 1x lens to actually using the 4x telephoto. If they can get this quicker in an update, that'd be great. Use some predictive Google algorithm magic or something, I don't know. As for the video, I think it's the best I've ever seen out of an Android, and sometimes I even prefer it over the iPhone, mainly in skin tones, which I think the iPhone usually overprocesses and smooths a bit too much. I think I might do a dedicated video on the Pixel 6 Pro's cameras, where I can go more into detail about the raw photos and the different modes, with a ton more samples and comparisons. I like my Pixel 6 Pro. It's a great phone, and at least for me, basically bug-free. I'm planning to run it for at least 2 or 3 years like I did with my Pixel 3 XL, bar any unfortunate accidents that may be in its future. But if there's anything you guys want me to look deeper into, let me know down below, or if you just want to tell me that your Pixel 6 Pro has been the buggiest thing in the world, also leave it down below, and you guys will see me in the next one. Laters.